no one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Skating Penguin Network. It is the evening of October 25th, a Saturday night. The Penguins just wrapped up a game against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we're going to talk about that game as well as Thursday night's game against the Florida Panthers. But before we do that, as always, joined by Snail out in on the West Coast. Snail, how are things out there these days? It's been a while since we did a weather check-in, so how's the fall weather out in the Seattle area?
Oh, it's been great, man. It's been truly fall weather, but today we kind of had our first, it's not even a storm, especially because out west here, we don't really have like storms like you guys get out east. Like I know out east, you guys get like those things like nor'easters.
Yep.
Not to mention, you also have the Atlantic Ocean. So sometimes you guys get those not Pittsburgh maybe, but hurricanes will affect Pittsburgh's weather.
Yeah.
Out here, out west, every few years, maybe a typhoon will hit somewhere off of in the Pacific Ocean, and we'll get some residual, high winds or high wind gusts or whatever. But yeah, today we kind of had one of those just gusty days, like power flickered a little bit. It really knocked all the leaves around. So now it really looks like, Halloween is a week away with the roads and the yards all littered with red and yellow leaves. So still relatively warm out though. I mean, it's not hot, but it's it's comfortable out there. Like a light sweatshirt's all you really need to get out and about. But how are things out there Pittsburgh way?
It's been kind of a weird weather. We're fully into the fall temperatures. It's been actually pretty chilly for the most part, but it seems like every day we get like a passing shower for some reason.
A little Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, it kind of. There was a couple days I'm like, I bet this was like in Seattle, all the time. Just be prepared for rain no matter what. Yeah, just randomly, it could be really nice out, and then all of a sudden, a stray set of showers rolls through, and everything's wet, and it's still cold, and but it hasn't been windy. Thankfully, it's been pretty mild in terms of wind. But the temperatures, I mean, we are getting where temperatures don't get above 55 if we're lucky. Might touch 60 every maybe once or twice a week, but for the most part, it's fully fall here. I mean, we are about to enter the final week of October, so we are fully shifting into the fall winter type weather here. It's still some leaves hanging on, but mostly they're mostly all down now, outside of maybe some patches here and there. But the weather, I mean, I can't really complain too much. It's been exactly what I expect this time of year. A nice reprieve from the humidity and heat of summer, as always. But no, the weather's been relatively nice here outside of a shower or two.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, this is what we've been waiting for. I mean, we're fall, as the kids say, fall stands. It's like that's what I've been waiting for. A gloomy
absolutely.
October evening watching the Penguins play in my armchair, man, in a sweatshirt, comfortable in my own home. Like, man, it's these are what we grind through those summer months for, is to get to these days.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to quote Frank Costanza there for a second and say shifting into soup mode.
It went through my head, but I'm like always in soup mode, kind of.
True.
Like I'm a pro soup person. Obviously, this time of year, like it's much nicer to eat a soup when it's 40 degrees outside instead of 80 degrees outside. But here I think I've been collecting some soup recipes off the internet that I love trying different soups every year. So I have a couple I'm gonna try to break out here in the next week. And then we freeze some so we have it throughout the winter. But no, I did, when I was saying that, soup season almost came out of my mouth. But no, it is soup mode. Yeah, we are in soup mode. If you are a soup person, I love soup. So yeah, it's shifting into that. But no, it did cross your mind. It crossed my mind as I was saying it. I thought I was going to let it slip out, but I stopped myself. But the Seinfeld reference for those of you that have watched Seinfeld, Snail picked up on it.
Do you think the kids these days even know who Frank Costanza is?
No, unless they grew up with parents that were like really into Seinfeld and watch like the DVDs and stuff.
Yeah,
I'd say that most kids today don't know who Frank Costanza is.
That's kind of
unless they can reference the meme and they don't know who it is, but they know who he is through the meme.
They might know soup mode from the meme.
Yes, and they might know soup mode from the meme without actually knowing who says it.
That's probably the case. Man, we're getting old.
Yeah.
But anyways, man, fall's upon us. It's good times. The hockey season is it's rolling now. It doesn't really feel like that, that first couple of games anymore. It's starting to feel like, we're not quite to American Thanksgiving, but we're slowly inching upon it. And it just kind of feels like, I mean, dude, if you're a Penguins fan, vibes are pretty high, honestly.
Yeah, I will say I did learn. I was reminded almost violently that Canadian Thanksgiving existed like a week or two ago, and I got mad. I had to go for a walk to calm down. If you've been a listener long enough, my feelings of Canadian Thanksgiving versus American Thanksgiving. How there's only one true Thanksgiving.
There's only one that matters, is what.
Only one that matters, and we're working up to that.
You know how I know that that's the only one that matters, and I can back this up without any sort of political or getting too into the history, is Canadians themselves say by Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. You'll hear Canadians say by American Thanksgiving, you kind of know what your team is. They don't say it by Canadian Thanksgiving. They don't even reference that.
You don't see teams wishing their fans happy Canadian Thanksgiving. Nobody does that because it's not real. It's just a holiday that they said. It's just an excuse, which again, it's an excuse to eat food, which I'm not going to argue with that. But let's call it Canada something. I don't know. But
I think they have Canada Day up there.
They do. I was going to say Canada Day, but that's in the summer. That's their Independence Day. So that I wasn't going to call it that, but Canadian Food Day or something like that. I don't know.
Or a fall harvest or something. You know what I mean?
Fall harvest day. Yeah,
exactly. Because that's kind of what you do. That's all we do is it's kind of in remembrance of, Pilgrims, Mayflower. And also a big thing was when you would, it's literally a seasonal change where you eat all the food that you grew at the end of summer. And it's it's a harvest. So you don't need to get political to have to just chow down on
I never
foods.
I never need an excuse to celebrate in eating food. I don't need that. I don't need.
Me neither, man.
Yeah, but no. So I saw people talking about the Penguin the Penguin American Thanksgiving being a benchmark of okay, here's kind of where the teams are. Here's who's good. Here's who's not. And right now, We'll start with Thursday night. The Penguins on the road after coming off a long road trip and a short stop at home go into the building of the defending Stanley Cup champions, and they walk out with another win. It's their fourth in a row, and this is a game where they go up 2-0. The Panthers get a goal, but the Penguins keep answering back right away to keep them at arm's length in this game. And every time the Panthers scored, the Penguins answered right back to keep the lead they had built. And a year ago, or even the last couple seasons, if they went up 2-0 and a team like the Panthers or really anybody got that goal that kind of changed momentum, the Penguins kind of just turned it off.
Yeah, they wilted.
But now this team under Dan Muse with the kids, man, just answered back every time the Panthers kind of landed a punch. And again, this wasn't against like a team at the bottom of the standings. This was against the defending Stanley Cup champions. And you can argue, they don't have a couple players.
Listen, they're beating everybody.
Yeah, they're still winning. Like, they're still one of the best teams in the league. And the Penguins can't control who's healthy for the Panthers. And listen, this year, everybody's going to play against the Panthers without Barkov. That's just the nature of the injury. And everybody's going to play without the Panthers or without Matthew Tkachuk until at least December. So the Penguins aren't facing any different of a team than anybody else's. And to go into that barn and come out of there with a win, getting goals from guys like Crosby scored, Raquel had a goal. Ben Kindle had just an absolute rocket of a shot in this game. A give and go with Tommy Novak, a brilliant goal by Kindle, and then our favorite Connor McDewar gets another. Connor McDewar up to 3 goals after this game, and then Crosby after Marchand. Marchand was, you texted me after this game about how good Brad Marchand he's like ageless, kind of like a Crosby.
It's crazy.
He had 2 goals in this game, almost had 3, if not for Tristan Jarry making a remarkable scorpion save to deny him. But Crosby gets a power play goal to ice it. It turned out to be the final goal, made it 5-3, which was the final. But, you mentioned Marchand. We'll deviate a little bit here. But I thought last year was maybe his last big hurrah. I know he signed that big deal, but it felt like maybe they get another year or 2 of quality play out of him. The dude's playing like he's 27 instead of 37.
Well, that game last night, I mean, first of all, it was hard to not notice him because he was truly buzzing around.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, we've watched Marchand over the years. He's always been a great player. He's got skill and his grit and tenacity and all that. But watching him last night, I mean, I've watched a lot of games that had the Marchand starring for the Bruins, and maybe if someone is a Bruins, a part-time Bruins fan that listens might, chirp me for this because I never once followed the Bruins, but last night, I thought he looks better than he ever did, maybe more in his prime years. And that's not supposed to be a chirp on how he used to play with the Bruins when he was younger, but I just feel like I don't know what it was. He was so noticeable. I thought we were going to have a geriatric version of the Ovi Sid dueling hat tricks game where it was going to be the Sid Marchand dueling hat tricks. Dude, Marchand looked, I mean, do you remember him doing so many toe drags and dipsy doodling when he was younger though? He was last night or a couple nights ago?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe he's just in a zone right now where he's just feeling it. And maybe he just maybe he got revitalized by that run last year after falling short with the Bruins so often. But he's not again, he's not big, but he's a guy that's taking a beating through his career too. So that the body has miles on it. But he's out. I don't know. Maybe it's the warm Florida weather that he just loosens up the joints a little bit down there. Maybe it's just maybe it's the Florida weather that's like a sauna that he's a little bit looser. But yeah, like you said, he's just out there dangling and kind of skating around again he's 10 years younger than what he is. It's kind of crazy to watch because there were times last year where he was still productive and he could still move around the ice, but nowhere near what how he's looked through the first 3 weeks this season.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I just don't really remember his game consisting of so much like, he can play the perimeter and he cuts to the middle and he's all like, I don't know. It's good for him. Well, who was that one famous explorer from back in the day who was in search of the what do they call that? Like the Grand Panacea, the Fountain of Youth. Who was that?
Let me see right here.
I want to say it was was it Magellan?
It was Juan Ponce de Leon.
Juan Ponce de Leon. I feel like Marchand must have gone down there and bought a property, and in his backyard he found it, because that's what he looks like right now.
Well, I mean, the rumored Fountain of Youth was in Florida, is what they believe. So maybe he did find it, and he's just hoarding it for himself wherever he's living down there. Because he looks like a completely re-energized player from a few years ago. But again, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see come January if that's changed. But right now,
it's the beginning of the season, man. Long season.
Marchand has played well, but the Penguins in this game, man, just a tremendous effort. Tristan Jarry again. Yeah, he gave up 3 goals, but Jarry was in net this game.
He was,
but he's still 34 of 37 in this game. The Panthers, I mean, they kept coming. They came in waves. They were relentless, but the Penguins stave it off. Jarry has continued the start of this really good season he's been having. I think the rotation has definitely helped both of the goaltenders. Keeps them a little more fresh and not as much pressure on them maybe. But both goalies have been dueling with one another, but both putting up good performances. But this is just this is a game that I had circled. Like, this is going to be a measuring stick type game. And they went into that barn and they came out with a win.
They did. And, like Sid doing Sid things, and he had a couple of great goals in this game. It's good to see Raquel get back on the score sheet, getting a goal. I was wondering this year, I'm like, was last year a blip, or is he going to get back into sort of that consistent scoring, a guy you can just kind of rely on? We'll see how that goes over the coming weeks, but it was just, it's a boost for the team when you see him chipping in. He is Sid's winger. And Sid had 2 on the night. So it's great to see that first line contributing. And then, man, that Kindle and Novak connecting on that sick give and go. I mean, I don't want to blow it too out of proportion. It was a beautiful goal, but just seeing Kindle, who centers that third line with Novak and Hollander, like, was he playing with Hollander that game? I don't want to. I forget if that was his winger.
I believe Hollander was the other one on the third line.
That's who they stapled at that other wing spot. But like, just the confidence and the command on that goal, where Kindle knew exactly what he was doing. He was like, you saw him get past the blue line and he chips it over to Novak, and they do it. They actually had a couple touches on it, and then Kindle just, I think Bob got maybe a little piece of it, and it fluttered up, but it was labeled for the top corner, and it went in, and it was just like a very the confidence to make the play and make that goal happen. It's good to see some chemistry going on that third line, and it's good to see Kindle just, I don't know, doing probably what he does in junior. Like the junior WHL was too easy for him, I guess, at this point. And to see him go to the NHL and I mean, he dominated last year. So to see him jump up and be doing stuff like that, it is a third line. Not having to put him on a line with Gino or Sid to contribute. It's all green flags, as they say.
Yeah. What we've seen, again, Kindle continues to impress in a point where I just don't see him going down at this point. Him or Brunick, but we're going to talk more about Kindle now because of the goal. But that was a goal where, man, he gets the puck at the blue line. Him and Novak team up. Credit to Novak for making the touch pass back after receiving the initial feed. And then Kindle just absolutely cranked this shot. And there's a comparison photo of him and Kessel ripping it from that one knee. I think the other goalie was Bobrovsky too in both pictures. And on this goal, Bobrovsky just like looked around like, dude, I don't know where the heck that came from or how it got past me, but that thing was absolutely ripped. Bobrovsky had no prayer on it. Perfectly located, and the kid he's just impressive. That's all I know we keep saying this, but the dude just goes out there on the games that he's playing and is one of the best players on the Penguins. And
he is flat out.
That's on a team with Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Erik Karlsson. He goes out there, contributes, and he's just been exceeded even my farthest expectations for what I expected out of him in this, what I thought was going to be a tryout, but what looks like it might be a more permanent spot on the Penguins roster.
Yeah, and I mean, man, he will probably force a decision at some point for the Penguins organization to like come out and say he's sticking around. Like I would assume down the road he's either going to hit a major slump and he's going to force the Penguins' hand to do what's right for his development. But with this whole method that they're going with him and Brunnick as well, with the rest method, it seems like they're doing a couple days on, one game off. With that, I mean, I think that, and I think we talked about this already, it was just that kind of reads as if they're going to probably just keep them up the whole year. Yeah. And they're going to just use rest as a weapon type of thing for these young guys. Yeah. And there's no need to play them 82 games. And Brunnick or Kindle's 18 years old, man. Yeah. Like that's like, Connor Bedard, McDavid, Sid, they're the ones that break in at 18 and produce. But I don't think Kindle was ever labeled as a generational talent like that. But, man, he sure is a bright spot for the Penguins and the Penguins organization for taking a swing on him at 11. And we talked about it last pod, like he's of the first round picks this year. He's one of only 2 or 3 that are playing NHL games. Actually, I saw that Brady Martin got sent down from the Predators. Yeah. So I think it's just Kindle and Schaefer, and I'm sure if we're wrong about that, someone will chime in. But to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure that these are the only 2 guys up with their big clubs currently.
Introducing Oakley Meta Vanguard, the new performance AI glasses designed for athletes. With hands-free capture on an action-ready ultra-wide camera, powerful open-ear speakers, and built-in Meta AI that syncs with your Garmin devices for real-time insights while you train. Take your performance to the next level with Oakley Meta Vanguard. Athletic intelligence is here. Learn more on meta.com.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Yeah, I believe they are. Yeah, Brady Martin did get sent down after a game or 2. But yeah, Kindle and Brunnick, Kindle in this draft class, he was the first in this draft class to score a goal, followed shortly by Matthew Smith, who is going to remain with the New York Islanders. But Kindle, Yeah, I mean, he's just been impressive. That's all there really is to say about it. Um, he doesn't look like he's fighting it right now. Everything just comes naturally. He sees the game so fast and processes it even quicker. And I mean, overall, just has exceeded, I think, everybody's expectations. And I'm very excited to see where things progress from here as the season goes along, especially with him being able to stay rested and give that body a time to adjust to an NHL game.
100%, man. So it's sick to see him contribute in a win over the reigning Stanley Cup champions. And that's a team too that doesn't. It's not like they're this all skill team. Like if you're a young guy, you're a third. I mean, he is getting favorable matchups as the third line center. We all know how that kind of works, but I mean, the if you're matching up against their third or fourth lines, maybe a second line here and there. I mean, Sam Bennett's not going easy on you. Sam Bennett is a guy that is not easy to play against, and the deeper that lineup goes, the kind of the angrier and grumpier that team gets. So it's cool to see him be able to kind of use his skating, which I think was heralded as not one of his strongest points, but use his skating and clearly his IQ to get on the board there. It's awesome to see, man. It's so cool.
I love it. Love what we've seen, and I hope it can continue. And the Penguins, they get this 5-3 win against the Panthers. They make it 4 wins in a row at this point, and you're feeling exceptional if you're a Penguins fan. You couldn't have asked for a better start to the season. And now we'll fast forward to this evening, October 25th, and the Penguins did not play good in this game for long stretches, and I think it's probably the worst game they have played this season in terms of you were rested. Columbus is coming off a game last night, but at the end of the day, you do let a lead slip away. But unlike seasons past, the Penguins find a way. They fight and claw and find a way to scrape a point out of this game. It does end up being a 5-4 shootout loss, but your goal scorers tonight, Ryan Shea with a beauty very early. Anthony Mantha continues his strong season with his 4th of the year. And then you're trailing 4-2 after that. You're up 2-1. You're trailing 4-2 after giving up 3 unanswered. Chris Letang gets his 1st of the year on a power play on like a half clapper from the high slot. And then finally, Brian Rust, after coming so close so many times this year on a nice passing play with Evgeny Malkin, beats Elvis Merzlikins up high with about 3 minutes left to tie the game and send it to overtime. Ultimately, they do lose in a shootout. Artur Sivas played great in regulation, needs some work on the shootout technique. The Penguins do score 2 in the shootout in this one, which is fantastic. The Penguins had struggled in shootouts of the past, but do get 2 goals in this one, just couldn't get a save. But in the end, a 5-4 shootout loss. But the big takeaway, just able to down 2 with 5 minutes left to find a way to get this game even and get a point out of it, even though it wasn't always pretty.
No, it wasn't. We saw a lot of that, kind of that track meet type hockey, which that's what it was. I mean, it was just chance after chance at both ends, and goalies both. I mean, that Merzlikins was, you want to talk about swimming in your net. That dude was erratic like that. Like he was fighting off everything. I think there was a couple of goal line saves from like defensemen, like the puck almost goes in the net. I mean, they had that one that it got reviewed. Sid Swart was in, him and Rusty were, I don't know. That one looked like it might have been a goal, but it's neither here nor there at this point. And then in overtime, Merzlikins fights one off and it lands on the goal line, pops behind him like a Tristan Jarry type play, lands on the goal line behind him. And then I think Provorov was there to kind of save it. So it was a road hockey game, like kind of vibe tonight.
Yeah. Very loose. Yeah.
Very loose. And then, man, once it goes to shootouts, I swear someone had reported in training camp that the Penguins were actually working on shootouts in training camp at some point, which tells me, first off, that tells me that, someone in that organization goes, we lost too many points not getting wins in the shootout, and we got elite players who can put pucks in the net. And for some reason on these, glorified breakaways, this like little game we play at the end of ties, we can't capitalize, and we should. They didn't tonight. I don't know what was up with Shilov's let in. It's felt like the same goal 3 times.
Yeah.
But given, not to be too hard on him, those 3 shooters that they sent out there, that Columbus sent out, it was Kent Johnson, who is, maybe he's not going to get you a playoff win. Like maybe he's not he's a skill guy is what I'm saying. He's got some criticism, in the last couple of years for his game, not really ever elevating enough. But man, if that guy has anything, it's hands. And that Fantilli as well. I mean, he's like one of those kids that can score the Michigan. Like he's clearly he can play with the puck quite well. And then I think that third one, it wasn't Chinikov. It was, or was it Chinikov? There's 2 Russian kids.
For Columbus?
Yeah. The third shootout.
Third shootout goal was Kirill Marchenko. Another just super skilled Russian kid. So, I mean, they've got some shootout players. They do. In that lineup, but you'd like to see Shilovs make a save on at least one of those, because when you get 2 shootout goals in a row from Rusty and Sid, you'd hope that you'd hope you get one save on your end. Yeah, he didn't. I mean, he didn't. Yeah, Shilovs wasn't. I don't know. I doubt. I mean, with his limited play, I doubt he's gotten much of a look at NHL shootout action. So. And again, you're not throwing AHL guys out there. I mean, you're going up against Fantilli, who was a high draft pick, Kirill Marchenko, who's one of the most exciting players, young players in the NHL this year. He's always, every highlight I see of him, he's doing something ridiculous. So, I mean, Marchenko is no pushover. These are guys that are prolific scorers in the NHL, prolific players. So, not too worried about that. It would be great to get a save on one of them, but hey, whatever. Rust gets the goal in the shootout, and Crosby gets the goal in the shootout. Honestly, I mean, based on the way the Penguins had performed in the past few seasons in these shootouts, like you said, more of a focus on, my goodness, just do something rather than skate down and just fire it into the goalie's chest or his pads or something.
Makes you sick.
Yeah. I mean, the Penguins were keeping up blow for blow there until the very end in the shootout. So, tough loss, but hey, you got points. Again, if you're going to be a team on the bubble, stack as many as possible at any point you can get. And again, they're down late. It doesn't look good when it goes 4-2, but Letang and Rust get the 2 tying goals in this one. Early in the game, Ryan Shea, I mean, I thought this first 2 or 3 games were a little shaky, but he has well earned the contract extension he got last year, the way he's playing right now. And we talked so much about the Penguins' issues on the left-hand side of that blue line. And if Ryan Shea can be good, that really helps them solve a whole bunch of problems.
Big time. I mean, Ryan Shea's looked great. I mean, he's definitely been developed, like he was in the Dallas Stars organization, I believe.
Yeah, it was a waiver guy. He's one of those early waiver moves that Kyle Dubas made, I think, his first season here. And Ryan Shea's found a way to stick around through it all.
Yeah, they've clearly been working on him. They clearly, maybe they've seen something there, and he's just gotten better every season since they've acquired him. Remember him? He was a third pairing guy with God, who's that guy down in the minors still? That right shot dude. He's God, who was he? Kind of plays with a little bit of bite. St. Ivany.
Oh,
he broke in with the Penguins with St. Ivany on that third pairing, and now he's a top 1 or 2 pair on the left side for whether it's Letang or it seems like right now it's Letang. So good on him, man. It's great to see those stories, and Parker Wotherspoon too has also I don't know. I don't really know anything about the guy. I think he came over from the Canucks organization.
No, he was with Boston at one point too, but he might have been with the Canucks for like
shows how much I know. But
yeah.
he's been pretty solid too. You know, I did I hear that Caleb Jones is out for like a long time?
Yeah, so he suffered a lower leg injury the other night against Florida, and he is on the IR, expected to miss at least 8 weeks.
Oh, shoot.
So that definitely changes the defensive outlook for the next 2 months. So at best, you'd be looking at him around the new year. Tough break for that kid. And on the night that he gets to play against his brother, was actually not aware that him and Seth Jones were brothers. Because they don't even
really?
They don't resemble each other really in any way.
No.
I thought I saw a picture like it's a Jones reunion. I thought it was just two guys named Jones playing against each other. I'm like, Jones is not a rare name. Like that's kind of weird. And then I'm like, oh wait, they're brothers. I never squared with me that they were brothers. But no, I believe somebody said a fractured ankle may have been the cause. So
that sucks.
Yeah, so hopefully 8 weeks, best case scenario, because I thought he was playing pretty solid hockey for the most part. But hey, that opens the opportunity for somebody else. That's really what it comes down to. I think you're pretty fine now with Shea and who was the other name that
Wotherspoon.
Wotherspoon. Wotherspoon has been, the less we hear about Parker Wotherspoon is probably the better.
Yeah,
kind of like a Marcus Pettersson. The less you hear about him, the better it is. Outside of the occasional goal, if we're hearing about him, I hope it's for a nice assist or a goal. But yeah, he's the kind of guy where the quieter he is, that means he's just doing his job.
Yeah, like we learned with Dumoulin for all those years.
Yeah, Dumoulin. Usually, the less you heard about Brian Dumoulin, the better.
Exactly.
Chris Letang was taking the headlines. That's completely fine because that meant Brian Dumoulin was doing his job. But no, Wotherspoon has been very good. I think that's a very quiet signing by the Penguins. When he was signed, like everything that he had put together made it point to like, okay, this guy's a pretty solid player. Let's see how he does in expanded like a full season. And so far, the early returns are good, and I'm really happy with what we've seen there. And Ryan Shea has been just as valuable on that left side right now. Definitely solidifying that as best as possible. A position we thought the Penguins are going to be very weak at has turned into be pretty solid through the first 9 games here.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's a defensive spot open now on the roster, and I mean, I've liked Clifton and Dumba both for the most part when they've gotten into games. I think Clifton, I don't remember if this was his 3rd game or if it was his 4th game and he'd gotten into 3 prior. And I think this is Dumba's 2nd or 3rd game he got into. You see early on, Dumba really can deliver that physicality. Kind of what he was always known for was he can really he knows how to make hits, clean ones too. You know, he's been on the side of some dirty ones before, but mostly a clean hit type of guy. And he's not afraid to drop the gloves as well. And Connor Clifton, man, that guy can really bring the thunder with some hits too, especially down low along the boards and stuff. So an ingredient the Penguins have needed for, I think it's been way overdue, but you know, the only thing is that they're both right-handed, and Caleb Jones was a lefty. So someone's going to be playing their off wing. And it kind of, I was actually curious too, as to, I wonder if we does Owen's Pickering name come up at all with maybe getting a shot?
I was actually just going to mention that I would not be surprised if here in the next week or two, we don't see a cameo from Owen Pickering. If they show up and say, hey, we have a spot now, let's call him up, get him some ice time, and mix him in a little bit as well. Because again, you're without Caleb Jones for 2 months at minimum. It would not shock me if Owen Pickering is here within sometime at the end of November, end of October, early November, just to get him some NHL games and to test another body in that position, because the Penguins are still going to be looking to get a solid, I think, three guys going down that left side. Right now you have Shea and Wotherspoon pretty much etched in there. If they can get a guy like Pickering to take full grasp of that final spot, that's fantastic. So it would not surprise me to see him dressed here in Pittsburgh within the next couple weeks.
If you're Owen Pickering and you don't get a call up here, are you concerned?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be. Like, you had that chance last year, and you showed some promise. You didn't make the team out of camp. Again, the Penguins are looking, and the Penguins are actively searching for a permanent fixture there. They don't want to be playing merry-go-round with that position.
Right.
So, I mean, you have to think that if he's not called up here, one, it says a lot about the Penguins, and two, it says a lot about what the Penguins think of Owen Pickering, and two, it has to be something Owen Pickering is definitely thinking about in the back of his head, because, I mean, he's a former first-round pick. At some point, it becomes make or break, and I think the Penguins need to give him an extended run in that position just to see what he is, and he hasn't really got that yet. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but I think we need to see him up here, or I'm going to be asking questions, I think, along with about everybody else.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it's not like you don't want to say time is ticking, but for a long time, this guy was going to be heralded as kind of like the next stay at home, good defenseman in the Penguins farm system. And he's gotten some looks. I'm really curious to see what he'd look like under Dan Muse, or get a few games in with the big club and see what we kind of got here. But yeah, I'd be concerned if you don't start hearing Owen Pickering's name or see him get a call up to at least be with the big club for a little bit. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see with that. That Penguins back end has been such a merry-go-round for years now, with just odd log jams, a lot of bodies, no one that really sticks around. So Caleb Jones was playing good hockey, and it's gonna be interesting to see what the Penguins do here to kind of fill that role he's been servicing.
Yeah, will be really interesting what they do here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, Caleb Jones is out. Whoever is in will be in from now going forward. So very interesting what they do. I think you need to see Pickering, though, within the next couple of weeks, just to see. Again, Dan Muse is a development coach. Maybe he has a magic touch where he can kind of get Pickering on track. And Pickering, we're in one of those times now. You're going to be the next guy that makes an impact. Are you going to be the next Brian Dumoulin, or are we looking at another Sam Poulin?
That's what I'm worried of.
Yeah, that's what. Are we looking at another Sam Poulin type trajectory where he gets a couple tastes here and there, but nothing ever permanent?
Oof, that would sting.
That would be. I guess you could say Ron Hextall's final gift to the Penguins would be that.
Another stain on Hextall's tenure.
Yeah, man, it would be great if Pickering could become a Brian Dumoulin type player, but we're gonna
even
have to find
just a steady Eddie third pairing guy.
Yeah,
I remember someone once said they were like, the NHL will pay you $1 million to flick the puck out of your zone off the glass and out. They'll pay you $1 million a year to do that,
dude. With that salary cap going up too, you're gonna get even more dough if you can be a guy that just goes out there 15, 17 minutes a night. Literally all you got to do is collect the puck and get it safely out of the zone. Off the glass, just flick it up in the air just to clear the zone, get a change, and get off the ice. Don't take penalties. Maybe throw in 5 goals a year. You're going to be getting paid big bucks in the next 2 or 3 years if that's the kind of performance you can put out there. So fingers crossed that we get a look at Pickering here, and he can be that, even at minimum, that kind of guy. Like if he turns into a complete shutdown dude, hey man, awesome. But a guy that can just do his job for 15, 17, 18 minutes a night, clear the zone, let everybody breathe, get pressure off the goalie, change, shift change, and then next crew out.
Do it again. Yeah. Just collect the puck in your end, flick it off the glass and out safely into the neutral zone, regroup, maybe change. Yeah, hit a guy every once in a while. Play the body. It's just like, we're not looking for Erik Karlsson 2.0 here. It's just blue collar. Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah. So, as for the Pittsburgh Penguins, they sit now at 6-2-1. Their first. This was their first overtime game of the season. Their first overtime, and it ends in a loss. But neither here nor there. They are off on Sunday, and then the first back-to-back session of the season begins on Monday. The St. Louis Blues are in town for their annual visit. That game is at 7:00 Eastern. And then Tuesday, it is a 6:00 start. The Penguins are an early start on the what's it called? Frozen Frenzy.
Frozen Frenzy.
All 32 teams in action, 16 games, starting at I don't know what the earliest puck drop is, but let's see if I can get it here on Tuesday. The earliest puck drop is 6:00. It's the Penguins and Flyers at 6 Eastern, along with the Calgary Flames, who are capital B, capital A, capital D bad this season, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then the final puck drop is as late as 11:00 Eastern. The Kings and Sharks go at it. So for a guy like Snail, he's going to have a lot of hockey to watch from mid-afternoon till not even necessarily late night his time, but 8:00 final puck drop his time, really late our time out here in the East. But 32 teams, 16 games. They did it 2 years ago. I believe on ESPN they have a you can they switch between games.
It's like NFL Red Zone.
Yeah, it's something they should do, I think, at least twice a year because it's a fun time. I think each team should get a home game in the whole thing.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. That is on Tuesday. 4-game week next week, actually. They also go to Minnesota and Winnipeg as well following the Flyers game. So we'll talk about that more as they come along. But, the Penguins, they beat Florida. They lose to Columbus in a shootout. But next week, another chance again with our first back-to-back of the season. So, Snail, do you have anything you want to note before we wrap this up?
Yeah, and we don't have to spend too much time on it, but I did want to bring up that it's not Penguins talk, but it's Wilkes-Barre Penguins talk.
Yeah.
Sergei Murashov, man, I think he's 5-0 with another shutout.
Yeah, the entire Wilkes-Barre team right now, they won tonight in overtime against Charlotte. They are 7-0 on the season, undefeated.
Really?
Sergei Murashov is obviously he's 5-0. He has 2 shutouts. He looks every bit of what we believe he is, and every time he's on the ice, he's just impressive. And right now, all the yelling we've done about the Penguins goaltending the past 3 seasons, right now it's really hard to complain about any of it. And that's at the NHL level and the AHL level. Hopefully it keeps up. I still think you see Murashov at some point this season. Obviously, there's probably going to be an injury. The Penguins goaltending right now is as good as it's been in a long time, at least on the upswing, at least. And all credit to what Murashov and the Wilkes-Barre Penguins are doing right now. They are absolutely just tearing through the early part of their schedule. So another name down there, Avery Hayes. I think we mentioned him on a show earlier this week. We talked about Owen Pickering needing a look. Avery Hayes, the door is only going to hold so long before he blows it off its hinges.
Yeah, that guy's unreal, man.
Yeah, it's only, again, he's too good to be down there. At some point, I think you make a move, you get him up here, and you just let him play. I think that is
get him a game.
I think he's going to, when he's up, I think he's going to be a guy that's here for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think of a guy like Avery Hayes, and I know it's this guy was kind of almost like a savior at one point when he was a claim from Dubas, and that's Thomas. I was going to say, a guy like Phil Tomasino, who's a right shot, and he's kind of a middle six guy. He's not a fourth line player. I saw Tomasino got a look in the lineup tonight, and that guy had a little bit of magic when he first came over, and he's still fairly young. I don't want to be hard on the kid, but I mean, when you got a guy like Avery Hayes, who is just on a tear in the minors, who looks like he does not belong there. I'd like to see, you'd like to see what you got in a guy like Avery Hayes, get him his first game over playing a guy like a Tomasino. You look up and down this roster right now. Who are you taking out? Hollander's been playing great hockey. You only got so many spots. I mean, you're not moving Brazo or Mantha.
No,
you're not touching Rust, Raquel, Sid. I think you just keep that line intact. You're definitely not sitting one of those guys. And then you only got so many players to tinker with. The fourth line, Robbie, has actually been so good. They have really been, like you saw it tonight against Columbus, like they were momentum changers. They go in on the forecheck and they knock guys off pucks. They create momentum, and they were big on the Penguins coming back in this game. I just look at that third line where you got Kindle, you've got Hollander, and you've got Novak, and they're starting to create some chemistry. But I think if you're going to go a couple nights on, a night off, I think Avery Hayes could take the spot of a guy like Tomasino on a third line and see what he's got.
Yeah, I'd love to see Hayes with some combination of Hollander, Kindle, I don't think he's too good to be a fourth. He needs playmakers around him.
Yeah.
That is where I'd almost be like on one of the nights that Kindle's not playing, put him in, because like that line is better with Kindle on it. So like having Novak and Hollander get shifts with another skilled forward, like a Kindle replacement, throwing Hayes on there, just to see what happens there. But I definitely think that Hayes needs to be with skilled guys, and maybe, hey, if something happens where an injury pops up, give him a look at a top six game, just throw him some shifts out there to see how he adjusts. But I think that getting him on one of the nights that Kindle's not playing, throw him in on that third line, and then just kind of rotate him around the lineup as needed. But Hayes, that door is only going to hold so long before he just completely blows it off his hinges. So I'd say that him and Pickering have to be for two different reasons. Hayes because he's earned it. Pickering because we need to see what we got.
You need to see what you got in Pickering, man, especially when you get a left-handed third pairing defenseman going out for 8 weeks. Yeah. It's your time to shine, man. And if I hate to say it, but if you're not getting a chance in this circumstance, this isn't coming from a place where I'm sick of the kid or something. I'm just saying, like, within an organization that all of a sudden has a little bit of depth in it when going down to the minor leagues, your name's got to be thrown in the hat and in the conversation for a replacement role. Otherwise, you might be in deep doo-doo. So it'll be interesting to see, man. But yeah, good on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins for just it tells me two things. It tells me that, God, this is kind of what Dubas wanted. He wanted to strengthen the depth down in the AHL, and he wanted to fill the cupboards. And it's also telling me that you got some guys down there that are they're too good. I think they're showing that they might be too good for the AHL as well. But you got a lot of bodies up in the NHL too. You got a lot of bodies. So, I mean, does Kevin Hayes have a job when he gets back?
No, there's no room for him unless you're just like sticking him on the fourth line. But again, I don't want him blocking an Avery Hayes type player. Absolutely not. I don't want him blocking an Avery Hayes type player. And I don't want him being the reason they send Kindle back to the WHL. But I think it's more likely he'd be blocking an Avery Hayes type player, which is just as bad. But no, I don't know how you look at the way this team's playing. 6-2-1, playing fun hockey, and thinking that again, nothing against Kevin Hayes.
I love the dude. I'd love to have a beer with that guy, and I'd love to hear him talk about hockey. I mean, I think you can on other podcasts, but he seems like one of the best character guys ever. And the team probably loves having him around, but I just and this is no hate, but I just don't see where does he have a spot in the lineup where he contributes to more winning.
No, I'm 100% with you on that. Just have to suck it up, be like, hey, your press box. That's all we can do.
God, you feel for the guy. And
Yeah.
maybe there's a team out there that would take on a Kevin Hayes. Like, maybe there's
he's
a
in
team.
the final year of his contract. He had a solid season last year. You can't convince me that there isn't somebody out there that would be, even if the Penguins have to eat half of that contract for the rest of the year, it's not hurting them. Take a third or fourth round draft pick and just give him a shot somewhere else.
The Penguins gave up a 4th round pick for Shelovs. For Kevin Hayes. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see. But I do know that Hayes is rehabbing and he's probably watching these games going, I lost my job, man.
Yeah. That's. You don't know what's going through their brains, but that would have to be a punch in the gut. All you did was get hurt. But
it's a good problem to have for the Penguins because you've got youth pushing through. You've got youth making it hard, making Dubas really have to earn that contract and figure out, who's staying, who's going. So it's been a long time since the Penguins have been in this position, Robbie. Going back how long? So it's cool to see. But that was my last point. I just kind of wanted to touch on Murashov mainly, and Murashov and the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins on just being a juggernaut down there in the American Hockey League. So the season is still young. We've got our kind of first injury of the year during the season, and it's going to be I'm curious to see, like we just talked about, going forward, who's filling roles here, who's getting looks, and who sticks around, who loses a job here, who gets hurt and loses a job, it's this kind of stuff that sports nerds like us get fascinated with, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. So we'll see how things play out these next couple of weeks. It's kind of what we have to do. But yeah, the Penguins are 6-2-1, and if you would have told me that entering the week of Halloween they'd be 6-2-1, I think I would call you crazy. But hey,
I think so too.
I won't argue against it. But Snail, if that's all you got, that's all I got. I'm gonna wrap this. That's all Snell has. So I'm going to wrap this up. The Penguins, they beat Florida, lose to Columbus in a shootout. We are entering Game 10 next week, so we'll be back to cover that as well on Monday. So for Snell, I'm Robbie. We'll everybody have a great rest of your weekend.